The forest was unusually quiet that evening. The golden hues of the setting sun cast long shadows across the dense trees as Elias, a young man with a heart full of wonder, wandered deeper into the woods. He had always felt a strange pull toward this place, as if it held secrets beyond human understanding. As he stepped over a moss-covered log, his foot struck something soft. He looked down and gasped. Lying in the leaves was the most delicate, shimmering pair of wings he had ever seen. They glowed faintly, pulsating with a strange, otherworldly energy. They were torn, as if they had been ripped away from their owner. Elias knelt, running his fingers over the translucent material. They weren't like butterfly wings, nor bird feathers. They were something far more ethereal, almost alive. A sense of urgency filled him. Someone had lost these, and whoever it was, they had to be in danger. Just then, a soft sobbing echoed through the trees. It was faint but unmistakable. Elias followed the sound, his heart pounding. Behind a fallen tree, hidden beneath a thick bed of ferns, lay a tiny figure, curled up in pain. Her dress, made of woven flower petals, was tattered. Her silvery hair was tangled, and her emerald eyes brimmed with tears. She was a fairy. Elias couldn't believe his eyes. He had read stories, heard myths, but never in his life did he think he would see one. But something was wrong, terribly wrong. The fairy was trembling, her back bare where wings should have been. She looked up at him with fear, shrinking away. "Please, don't hurt me," she whispered. Elias slowly knelt beside her, holding out the wings. "Are these yours?" Her eyes widened in shock. Then, in a flash, she reached for them, but as soon as she touched them, pain shot through her body. She cried out, pulling her hands away. They won't reattach," she whispered, voice shaking. "Without them, I'm nothing. I can't go home. I can't survive." Elias felt a pang of sorrow. He had no idea what had happened to her, but he knew one thing: he had to help. The fairy introduced herself as Lyria, a guardian of the Evervale, a secret realm hidden between the human world and the unseen magic beyond. Her wings had been stolen by a dark creature, one that sought to sever fairies from their magic, trapping them in the mortal world where they would slowly wither away. "I was careless," she whispered. "I wandered too close to the human realm, drawn by the kindness in your heart. I didn't think anyone could see me, but the shadows did. They tore away my wings to keep me trapped here." Elias clenched his fists. "Then we'll find a way to fix this. I won't let you fade away." Lyria looked at him, bewildered. "You would help me?" "Of course." For days, Elias cared for Lyria, bringing her food, keeping her warm, and searching tirelessly for a way to restore her wings. She was weak, but as time passed, a bond grew between them. She told him stories of the Evervale, of its floating islands, glowing rivers, and enchanted forests where stars bloomed like flowers. Elias was captivated. A whole world of magic had existed all this time, unseen by human eyes. But time was running out. Lyria's glow was dimming, her magic was fading, and the only way to save her was to return her to the Evervale before it was too late. Lyria told Elias of the only way back, a hidden portal deep within the heart of the forest. But the shadows that had stolen her wings would not let her return so easily. As they reached the ancient stone archway where the portal was said to open, darkness slithered through the trees. From the shadows emerged twisted figures, tall, hollow-eyed creatures with claws like daggers. Their whispering voices curled through the air. "She cannot leave," one rasped. "She belongs to us now." Elias stepped protectively in front of Lyria. "She's going home," he said firmly. The shadows laughed, a chilling sound. "You are but a human. What can you do?" Elias tightened his grip on the wings in his hands. He wasn't sure what he could do, but he wasn't going to back down. Then, a thought struck him. "What if I trade myself for her freedom?" he asked. Lyria gasped. "No, you can't." The shadows hesitated. Humans were rare in their realm. A human with a heart as strong as Elias's could be a valuable prize. But Lyria, with her fading strength, suddenly grasped Elias's hand. "No," she whispered. "I won't let you do this. You've already saved me once, now it's my turn." Summoning every last drop of her magic, she held the wings between them and whispered an incantation. A burst of blinding light erupted from the wings, searing through the darkness. The shadows shrieked and recoiled as the portal flared to life. Elias didn't hesitate. He grabbed Lyria and jumped through. The moment they crossed into the Evervale, everything changed. The air shimmered with golden mist, the sky was a swirl of glowing blues and purples, and the ground felt alive beneath their feet. Lyria gasped as her body was enveloped in a warm light. The wings in Elias's hands dissolved, reattaching themselves to her back in a radiant explosion of color. Lyria hovered in the air, whole again. "You did it," she whispered. Elias stared in awe. The world around him was like nothing he had ever seen. But something felt different. A tingling sensation spread through his hands. He looked down. His fingers were glowing. Lyria landed gently before him, her eyes full of realization. "The magic, it's chosen you." "What do you mean? You are no longer just a human. The Evervale has seen your heart, your courage, your selflessness. It has marked you as one of us." A deep voice echoed through the realm. "Elias of the human world, you have proven yourself worthy. The Evervale offers you a choice: return to your world as you were, or stay and become its protector." Elias's heart pounded. A choice stood before him: return to the normal life he had always known or embrace the magic that had always felt just out of reach. He looked at Lyria, the fairy whose life he had saved, and who had, in turn, saved his. He looked at the glowing rivers, the floating islands, the endless wonder before him. And he smiled. "I'll stay." The moment he spoke the words, a golden light wrapped around him, sealing his fate. He was no longer just a human. He was something more, something magical. Lyria took his hand. "Welcome home."